The old life dies in devotion to the new one that is being birthed. And you can't escape that process. Some people will go with you, and some people will not. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hi, Mel. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. My question revolves around launching a spiritually focused business. I've been a legal aid lawyer for about 15 years and have spent the past 10 years about leading a nonprofit. I am both deeply spiritual as well as religious. I'm the mom of 2 young boys, and my husband and I are really raising them to both have an understanding and love for their religious heritage, as well as exposure to these other kinds of non-denominational modalities to connect with God, universe, source, whatever you want to call that ultimate source of creation. So I've been a spiritual seeker all my life, and I've reached this point where I really want my spiritual explorations to also be part of my career path. I know that I will be leaving my current professional position at some point in the upcoming year. And for a really long time, I've thought about spiritual entrepreneurship, potentially creating a business that serves as a bridge between these spiritual pursuits and a more grounded analytical life. I see myself as potentially building a community, maybe of moms, or maybe more generally of all types of caregivers who are given the space to explore our spirituality and its practice in our everyday life. I know I want to start this business. I'm really scared of what others will think, whether it's my husband, his family, my family, our friends. And that nervousness about it is deterring me from taking the first steps of actually exploring this in a more solid way or a more technical way, taking those steps to actually build a business. And so I'm looking for some sort of guidance around moving forward there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's like I feel it like a hesitation in you is the word, like the nervousness. There's like this hesitation of, oh gosh, can I step over that line? Like it feels like there's a line drawn in the sand and you're on this side of it. And, I can feel like all the work you've done expanding yourself, like there's like a pulsing in you of like the readiness, let's say, of like, oh my gosh, like, am I really doing this? And then there's the line in the sand that you just are standing at, looking out across. And so, yeah, what I know about this path, my love, is that everything in your life changes when you step across that line. And having a spiritual business is not just what you do, it becomes who you are. And you already have that architecture woven into you from what I know of the attorneys I know, right? Like it becomes an identity and you give so much of yourself. Being an attorney is not what you do, it's who you are. It's a very similar energy frequency to that. And yet, when you are a lawyer, an attorney, there's an infrastructure of proven evidence and facts of what that means. And now you are taking those skills, all those things you've learned through your life, like you're compiling your life existence and you're basing it on something that people can't see and a lot of people don't even believe in. So trying to be that becomes an entirely different story. There's no real evidence or facts that you can share as you re-erect, reestablish yourself on this other side. So, how far along on taking that step are you? Like where are you lingering?
Even just the registering the name with the state's corporation commission, like I'm at the point of really wanting to legally set up a business, right? Like that feels like the first step. Once I do that, it becomes real. My name becomes attached to something that I'm nervous about, even though I feel like I don't really like the way to say I shouldn't feel like, because I understand my feelings are valid, but I'm then putting myself out there. It becomes real. And it's, an actual entity that anyone can find. And so that's the first sort of tangible thing that I'm ready to do, but I'm nervous to push the button and say, yes, I'm going to create this entity.
Yeah. Yeah, credibility, right? I mean, it can be laughable in some circles what you're attempting to do. Like, she's gone crazy. She's lost her mind. What the heck is she thinking? She used to be so put together. What happened to her? Remember that lady that left to do that thing? Like, that's all that I can hear, like, swirling around you, right? Because that's the world you live in or have lived in for a large part of your identity. And yet here's your soul knocking. It's gone from tapping gently to like rapping loudly on the door and saying like, hey, are we going to do this in this lifetime or what, lady? What's going on? What's happening, my love? Come on. So what do you like with these sort of two sides that I'm sharing? What comes up for you?
It's definitely that feeling of rejection. You said it, right? This lady has gone crazy. I'm a lawyer and I will always be a lawyer, no matter what kind of business I start. But that, this person is grounded in reality and now she's starting a business that has potentially no grounding in reality. Although I myself know that in order to be more grounded, these practices can help us be more grounded, right? And that's really, I really feel the power of my potential purposes, right? It's being that path, it's being that bridge between the world of the woo into a more analytical space. But even just explaining that I'm interested to regular folks in my life about starting a spiritual business is just the feelings of rejection are very scary. Or she's crazy. It's just a scary feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I can just feel your whole system tensing up even as you're talking. Like the word is exile. Like you could be exiled from your whole community for making this step. Have you talked to your husband about any of this?
He knows that I'm on a career shift because we've talked about the shift, but I have not shared where he knows that I'm very interested in spirituality and bridging spirituality and religion and bringing all of these things down just by the sheer number of books on my side of the bed, right? Like he can see what I'm reading every night. He sees the books that I offer him when he's asking what he should read next. But he also is a business person, a very serious business person. And to tell him I want to launch this business that is so different than what he does, I think that he would be accepting, but he might look at me also like I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a part of it, right? Where we have to be willing to be crazy in other people's eyes because what we know in our heart that we came here to do, we believe in so passionately about that we get to this point where it's like, you know what? I love you so much that you can think whatever you want of me. What I think about me is actually more important. And so I feel like this is a thread for you, my love, right? Because are you familiar with projection? Like the topic, the idea of projecting onto others what we feel
Oh, yeah,
inside
yeah.
ourselves.
Yes.
So it could be a very helpful exercise for you. All these things that were circling around, like she's crazy, what happened, like she's lost the grip on reality, and you don't know yet. Like there's a high probability that yes, the people in your orbit will think those things, right? Yet at this point, all we know for sure is that you are thinking those things. So this is where your golden nugget lives, right? Because as long as you believe that you could possibly be crazy, you're going to have a really hard time launching anything. Power lies in you getting underneath some of these things for yourself. Like the part where you think that maybe you're losing it a little bit, or that the rejection piece, right? The scared of not belonging, the exile piece. These are all going to be incredible allies for you to explore and investigate. Because once you can hold all of those inside you and be okay with your choices for you, then it's less spicy what other people think. But as long as you have a matching thought to them, you're going to get sucked into that. So, what do you know about what you think about what you're doing?
I'm very excited about even the potential of having the opportunity to live a career like this. I feel really excited about it. And I hear you. I probably am projecting. It goes to the whole idea of finding your tribe, right? And you attract what you put out. It's those people who you need will come to you once you put yourself out there, and really being willing to let the people who think I'm crazy go. I hear that. And I do think that I have some work to do in terms of, like, I have this image of a bungee cord in my head, right? Like, just jump off the cliff because the cord is there. It's going to catch you. You're not going to hit the bottom.
hmm I used to use that same quote and reference it of like splatting on the ground, right? Like you're going to get caught, this and that. And a few years back, there was a reframe on that. And it's like, well, jump off the cliff because you never know how high you might fly. Right? Rather than this, like, oh my God, I got to go in this free fall and I could splat, but thank gosh I got the bungee cord. And it changed things for me. There's like a frequency of like, I'm going to jump off the cliff because I know I can, not because I'm like believing that something's going to catch me before I fall, but that you believe in yourself so deeply that you know you can fly.
That's definitely a much better reframe.
Yeah, it shifted things for me quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because I was always waiting to splat on the floor. And it's like, okay.
Right. Right.
It's a little more empowering, right? Instead of you waiting for someone to catch you, you're just going to learn to fly. Like, go for it. Yeah. And there is a real high, potent level of what you're willing to leave behind for that excitement, for that commitment, for that devotion to this bigger endeavor that's moving through you. Because the old life, the way I like to say it is the old life dies in devotion to the new one that is being birthed. And you can't escape that process. Some people will go with you and some people will not. And only you can determine that threshold for yourself. What's coming up for you?
I'm just trying to feel sort of the power in those words, right? Like, there are some people who are going to come with me and there's some people who won't. And there are other times in my life when that's happened. And I cared less about pleasing other people. And so what is it about this that's making me care so much? There are many times in my life that I've had to make decisions, and I've stood up and stood my ground and decided whatever it is best for me, this decision in terms of moving forward with my life, or making decisions that make me feel like I'm moving in the right direction. And I was more sort of confident in just telling people either come or don't, but that's on you, right? That's not about me. That's more about you. And it's this one that I'm just having more trouble with.
Well, the two things I feel in there is one, these decision points in the past have been a little more logical. You've had evidence to support in a more tangible way for other people. And the other piece is you had less at stake.
Yeah, that one just brought up a lot of emotion. That's it. Less at stake.
because you don't know what you might lose. And there's some pretty big cards on the table.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, those are really valid places, my love. Feels like there could be a progression place for you in the sense of finding themes, topics, words that are a bridge. You mentioned the word bridge earlier. And there's like this bridge place for you where maybe you don't go just like all in the first shot. That is definitely a path if you want to take it, right? Just jump in the fire, burn it all down, see what happens. But there's also these other more glide paths of, there's a lot of corporations that do mindful work, mindfulness work, and meditation, and bring in these ways of values and, living a more congruent life, authenticity. There's these things that are finding their way into larger spaces. And possibly that's a way to start
Hmm.
that isn't such a, well, I'm going to piss everybody off in my life kind of way, but that you just start like, okay, let me try this. What about this word? What about this? And where you're still being true and honest in what message is coming through you. And yet you're also being really sensitive to the market and the people that you love.
Right. That's a good idea. The other way I've thought about it is not necessarily calling it a business yet, but just starting with just small gatherings of particularly moms who are looking for ways to incorporate these kinds of things into their lives, but in a very informal way, and just seeing how that goes first.
Hmm. Yeah, testing the waters, market research. Hmm. Because also, like the name of your business might change. I've changed mine a few times along the way. And it's not necessarily about, like, the spirit of your business is the spirit of your business. You can't, like, deny that or wish that away or pretend that that's not here. Like, that's here with you. You've already connected to that. You know it. You're growing with it. You're learning what it wants, what you want. You don't need to go and register that in some made up form of something anyway, right? I mean, yeah, eventually you need to get there. But when we look at the bigger scope, you don't need to register a business to run a successful business. Yes, legally, it's beneficial too, but you could create something magical and wonderful and meaningful without a business name, like ink on paper. And that gives you some room to play, some bandwidth to explore, to like feel out what is this that's coming through you.
Yeah. I mean, that feels like a much less threatening way to approach it is to go the informal route for a while. And I don't even know if I like that word, like non-threatening or threatening. That's not what I mean. I mean, like a maybe safer is the better word. Less scary way to go about it is to do it in an informal way where I'm just here, I'm just building community, I'm just inviting people in, and then we see where it goes.
Hmm. Yeah, and I would say in that, right, your level of commitment, like bring to it like full devotion, because that the energy is the thing that's going to make it happen or not. If you're half assing it and like only kind of like, oh, I'm going to just try, that's a frequency, right? So you can not register and you can explore, but explore with your whole heart. Explore like you mean it. That's going to make all the difference. And get some support. Like, do you have a coach, a therapist, somebody that you can bounce things off of and like help you when you reach these stuck points?
I have been working with someone for the past couple of months. She has an interesting trajectory in that she also left a more traditional career for sound healing. And so that is the place that I have started. in terms of talking through with someone else who's had a similar transition in career about how she's done it, how she feels like, how she moves through the world in this way as she's building this business that is not the more traditional science kind of background that she once worked in.
Yeah, that's very helpful. That's a good way to, just have that reflection. How else can I support you today?
Just creating this space was very helpful to talk through it and be guided to the point where I can see that informality is actually like perfectly okay. Like you said, don't half-ass it, but do it in a way that is wholehearted. It feels like a much safer route to go that way for the time being until it's very clear that I need to take the next step.
Yeah, and some of these things that we've talked about today, like this place of safety in you that you want to create, and this, the voices of like, oh gosh, has she gone crazy? And those are going to be really potent places for you to explore because they will follow you all the way along this path, right? Until you include them and you find some tools to unpack those places in you. That's going to give you more resilience. It's going to give you more bandwidth. It's going to give you a deeper capacity to hold others as you move through this. It's going to be hard to convince, which is not the right word, but like the energy of if you're going out there teaching other people that the spiritual path is the place for them, you got to be congruent with that, right? If you're hiding being on the spiritual path, the people you're helping are going to feel that.
Right. No, I totally hear that.
Mm-hmm. So these places are going to be rich, rich for you. Like think of them like your allies, right? Rather than like something that you've got to overcome or deal with or work through. It's like, actually, these are your allies. They're the very things you need to get you to the next step. And then what you learn from them is going to be like rich nourishment for others.
Thank you so much. I'm writing down what you're saying because I just don't want to lose it, but also I feel like it goes in deeper when I'm writing down these big words: safety, exile, crazy.
They're your new teachers, my love.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. I
You're
really, really
welcome.
appreciate this.
Yeah, does this feel like an okay place to land today?
It does. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.